Okay, we will begin with a moment of silent meditation, followed by recitation, name of the Buddha, or the Nembutsu. Naman Nobs, Naman Nobs, Naman Nobs, Naman Nobs, Naman Nobs. Okay, and we will now be reading together the homage and three treasures. And in this red Seitan, you'll find it on page 2 of the red Seitan, and it's also on the screen for those who are following by Zoom. And when we get to the three treasures, you could just repeat after me. So I'll read it and then everyone reads after me, okay? Homage. Hard it is to be born into human life. Now we are living it. Difficult it is to hear the teachings of the Blessed One. Now we are hearing them. If we do not gain emancipation in the present life, we may not be free from sorrow in the ocean of births and deaths. Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures. We go to the Buddha for guidance. May we always walk in the way that leads to enlightenment. Everyone? We go to the Buddha for guidance. May we always walk in the way that leads to enlightenment. We go to the Dharma for guidance. May we be submerged in the depth of the teachings and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. Everyone, we go to the Dharma for guidance. May we be submerged in the depth of the teachings and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. We go to the Sangha for guidance. May we all with one accord live the life of harmony in the spirit of oneness, free from the bondage of selfishness. Everyone, we go to the Sangha for guidance. May we all with one accord live the life of harmony in the spirit of oneness, free from the bondage of selfishness. Even through myriads of kalpas, hard it is to hear such excellent, profound teachings. Now we are able to hear and receive them. Let us try to understand the Tathagata's teachings. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. This morning we will be chanting the English version of the Shoshinge, and in the red Seitan it's on page 106. So we'll be chanting that, and for those on Zoom it's on the screen as well. Naman Nobs, Naman Nobs, Naman Nobs, Naman Nobs. Trust in the working of limitless life. Bow to the light that surpasses all thought. Bodhisattva Dharmakara in his seeking stage. Satlokesvara Raja at his Buddha seat. He learned the causes and conditions of each Buddha land. Studied the inhabitants and all their qualities. On this foundation he brought forth supreme aspiration, awakening the great vow, all embracing, vast and rare. Through ages of reflection, determining his vow, he reaffirmed his calling name would be heard everywhere. Thus he radiates his light, immeasurable and boundless, unhindered beyond compare, a dazzling, glorious blaze. Light that purifies the mind, light of joy and wisdom, light unceasing beyond thought, far beyond description, brighter than the sun and moon, illuminating countless worlds. Every being, everyone receives this radiant light. The calling name of the primal vow properly directs us. The vow of sincere and trusting mind becomes for us the cause. Equal awakening is attained, confirming great nirvana. Because of the vow's fulfillment, nirvana is surely attained. The reason that Tathagata came forth into our world was to teach Amida's primal vow, boundless as the ocean. Now beings also boundless in this evil impure age should respond in trust and take to heart Tathagata's true words. If for the briefest moment the mind of joy awakes, we realize nirvana, though our minds remain defiled. Worldly
wise Dharma haters all will turn and enter, as rivers pour into the sea, becoming of one taste. The all-embracing mind light always shines on and protects us. The darkness of our ignorance already has dispersed, yet craving, anger, greed, and hatred, like dark clouds and mist, always cover up the sky of true insight and faith. As clouds and mist obscure the sun, covering its light, yet beneath them pure light radiates, no darkness can be found. Receiving faith with reverence, discernment, and great joy, without delay we leap across beyond the evil realms. When ordinary beings, whether full of good or evil, hear and trust Tathagata's all-embracing vow, Shakyamuni calls them all superior, clear-sighted. Such people are correctly named white lotus flowers. Amida Buddha's primal vow established Nembutsu. Yet we who cling to evil views with arrogance and pride can never easily receive the truth with joyful faith. There is nothing that could be more difficult than this. The masters of the teachings from India in the West, and all the noble monks who lived in China and Japan, explain to us the great sage came with a true intention to clarify the primal vow accords with everyone. Shakyamuni Buddha dwelling among Lanka, to the multitudes foretold one day in India south, Mahasattva Nagarjuna will appear in this world and destroy dualistic views of being and non-being, transmitting Mahayana, the Dharma unsurpassed. He will realize the stage of joy, be born in the land of peace, and teach that arduous practice is like struggling down an endless road, while joyful trust in the easy way is a peaceful voyage at sea. With mindful recollection of Amida's primal vow, without design instantly we reach a certain stage, and with the soul eternal praising of Tathagata's name, let us repay the kindness of the great compassionate vow. Bodhisattva Vasubandhu in his discourse stated that he had surrendered to unhindered light, relying on the larger sutra. He revealed true virtue, made known that with a great vow we leap over birth and death. Through the power of the primal vow, transferring us its virtue, he revealed the single mind, delivering all beings, entering the all-pervading precious sea of merit. We surely will be numbered with the great assembly, allowed to reach the lotus world. We realize true suchness. True Dharma nature is attained clearly without doubt. We play in the forest of passions, yet manifest wonderful powers. We enter, burst, and discard, and transform to benefit all. The king of Liang in ancient China, revered Master Tanwan, and daily bowed toward his teacher, a bodhisattva in his eyes. When Master Bodhi-Ruchi gave Tanwan a Pure Land text, he burned his Taoist books and placed his trust in the land of peace. He wrote a commentary on Vasubandhu's discourse, reveal cause and effect of birth, both come from the vow. We depart and we return because of other power. Only through the mind of faith is Buddhahood assured. When the mind of faith awakes in ordinary beings, we are made aware that birth and death is nothing but nirvana. And when unfailingly we reach the limitless and radiant land. We will save the myriad of beings everywhere. Touch, O discern on the noble path. Attainment is hard to confirm, and clarify the Pure Land as the sole way to break through. Criticize self-power, practice of the myriad good works, and urge us only to recite the perfectly virtuous name. He kindly taught us face aspects, pure mind, single and constant, guides us as the Dharma declines toward outward form and extinction, meeting the all-embracing vow, though doing evil all our lives. We reach the world of nurturing peace, realize the fruit of enlightenment. Shantao alone shone light upon the Buddha's true intent, empathizing with those who practice good and with the rebellious and evil. He made it clear that the radiant name is a cause and condition for birth, clearing the way for all to enter the great sea of wisdom, the primal vow. We then receive the diamond mind, one and indestructible, through one moment of joyful thought in oneness with Amida. With Vaidehi we acquire faith and joy and wisdom, awaken to the way things are eternal and at peace. Genshin studied fully every teaching of the Buddha, chose refuge in the peaceful realm, imploring all to follow, divided deep and single faith from shallow sundry practice, distinguished birth in the true Pure Land from provisional attainments. He taught that even evil ones should simply say the Buddha's name. I too, he said, am fully in Tathagata's embrace. Though my defiled and anxious mind prevents me from perceiving it, the light of great compassion shines upon me ceaselessly. Our old Master Honen understood the Buddha's teachings with compassion for all ordinary beings, good or bad. He caused the true essential way to flourish in these islands, proclaimed the selected primal vow throughout this evil world, returning to samsara's house, the wheel of birth and death, results when doubt and lack of trust become the mind's foundation. But when the mind of faith awakes, we are quickly made to enter the home of pure tranquility, transcending all conditions. The Mahasattvas and Masters, through teaching the Buddhas, have saved countless beings so defiled and corrupt. Now in our own time, both lay people and monks, let us trust with one heart what our noble masters have taught. The virtue of Amida's vow is shared equally by all, together attaining awakened mind. We are born in the land of peace. Namandavs, 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 namandavs.
Once again, good morning, everyone, to those here and those on Zoom as well. Now, I just turned off the screens because if I have them on, people end up looking over there instead of at me. So, welcome again to our service this morning. And this morning I wanted to, first of all, share with you reading a passage from Shinran Shonin's, or Tannisho, which was actually written by the disciple of Shinran, Yu Yenbo. And so I'm just going to read this passage. As for me, I simply accept and entrust myself to what my revered teacher told me. Just say the Nembutsu and be saved by Amida. Nothing else is involved. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Just recently, I was reading an article by one of my favorite teachers to read, Reverend Dr. Taitetsu Unno. And we've had his son here, Mark Unno. And I don't know if Taitetsu, I don't know if he ever came here. Maybe he came. But anyways, he was a great Jodo Shinshu scholar, and he's written numerous books. He's passed away now. But I was at Northwest Convention, this is a number of years ago now, and he was giving a talk there. And in his talk, he was talking about his name. And Taitetsu Unno is the proper pronunciation. But when he was growing up as a young child, he said it was a source of being teased. And he was mentioning the fact that the kids couldn't pronounce Taitetsu, so they would often pronounce it Taitits. And so that name became a source of him being teased. And so he said he didn't like that name as a young child. But as he grew older, he realized there was much deeper meaning to it, and he began to appreciate his name. And I've mentioned before, my Japanese name too was Masami. And Masami is written with these characters here. Okay, Masami. And I didn't like this Japanese name either, particularly when our family moved to Japan for about 4 years when I was young. I went to kindergarten, grade 1 in Japan. But when you go to kindergarten in Japan, of course, you don't learn about characters yet. You learn about, they call it hiragana, and it's the phonetic alphabet of Japanese. So I learned how to write my name in this phonetic alphabet, Masami. Now, the reason why I didn't like my name was because many girls' names ends with that sound, mi. You know, Hiro, mi, Megu, mi. These are all girls' names. And Masami can be a girl's name as well. So I would often get teased for my name, saying, it's a girl's name. And of course, I remember going to my mother and saying, well, how come you named me a girl's name, right? And I was upset. And it wasn't until later when I learned about Chinese characters that I realized, and that my name comes from my two grandfathers, from my maternal grandfather and my paternal grandfathers. Okay, so my maternal grandfather, his name was Teru Mi. Okay, and then my paternal grandfather, Shinjo, or Masanari. So if you take this first character from Shinjo and the last character from the second character from Terumi, right? So Masami is how I got my name. So once I learned that, of course, I was very proud of my name, right? But until then, it was something that I didn't like that much. So names are very important for us. And of course, the founder of Jodo Shinshu, his name was Shinnan Shonin. Shonin means wise one, or sometimes it's translated as saint, but I don't like that translation because there's too much of a Christian connotation to it. But sort of a wise, a wise one, wise individual. So Shinnan is his name. He chose this name himself in his latter years. And this actually comes from two names. The first one is Tenjin or Tenshin. So this is that character Shin, okay? And Tenjin is Vasubandhu. He's the second of the 7 patriarchs. We have the 7 patriarchs on the very far left scroll there in our altar, and he's the second of the 7 patriarchs in India. So Shinnan really revered his teachings, so Tenjin Shin. Okay, that's where you get the Shin. And then the third of the patriarchs, the first one in China, his name was Donran, or Tanruan in Chinese, Donran. Okay, so this is where you get the second character for Shinran, is from here. Okay, so Shinnan Shonin received these names, but the names all have a great purpose and meaning behind it. And in particular, according to Shinnan Shonin, the name that is most important to us is what we say, Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. That is the 6-character name for Amida Buddha. Okay? Namo Amida Butsu. And so for Shinnan, he said, this is the most important name. And the reason why is that in this name is both the sentient beings ourselves and the infinite, Amida, coming together as one. And we receive the wish or the desire of the Buddha. In this name, Namo Amida Butsu, we are listening. So if I could ask you to open your books again to page 106, the Shoshinge that we chanted today. And if you go down to the 3rd stanza, okay, he says, through ages of reflection, determining his vow, he reaffirmed his calling name. Calling name. So this is not just a name, it's a calling name. In that name is the wish of Amida Buddha. And what is that wish? It's the wish that all beings, all sentient beings in suffering and ignorance, awaken to the true oneness of life, awaken to the great compassion of Amida Buddha. So in Namo Amida Butsu is This is why it's not just called a name, it's called a calling name. It's the voice or the wish of the Buddha to awaken us from our ignorance and suffering. And so as we listen to this, we realize I am truly within this embrace of Amida Buddha. And that's why Shinran Shonin in the Tanisho, in the passage as I read this morning, as for me, I simply accept and entrust myself to what my revered teacher told me. Just say the Nembutsu. Nembutsu is the Namo Amida Butsu. Just say the Nembutsu and be saved by Amida. Nothing else is involved. There comes a point when Shinran realized that it goes beyond all logic or reasoning. There comes a point where we just have to let go or just entrust ourselves or awaken to this calling voice. And as I think of this desire or wish of Amida Buddha, I realize it is the wish of all of our humanity to awaken it. And so going back to my paternal and maternal grandfathers, it was their desire to have this Dharma spread. And so I'm really grateful now that I have this name that has parts of both of them. And together we listen, and as we gather here to the temple, we come to focus. And as I've mentioned before, the temple is all about balance. And we can tell right away when we look at the altar that there's a focus here. So if you look at the scrolls on the left versus the scrolls on the right, the scrolls on the right are always pointing towards the center. So you look at how Shinran and Shotoku are facing. They're actually facing this way, right? Whereas the scroll on the left, Renyo Shonin, he's facing this way. Meaning they're facing Amida Buddha. Okay, so it's all about focus. So when we come to the temple, we focus and we balance. We balance on the Dharma. We balance on Amida Buddha. And as we listen to this calling voice, we awaken to the reality of the oneness that we share with all of life. And out of true gratitude, we put our hands together in Gassho and recite the name of the Buddha. So at this time again, if I could ask you, please join me as we recite the name of the Buddha. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you very much. And we'll close this morning's service with the singing of the verse Ondok-san, which is a poem that Shinran wrote in his latter years. Just going to bring it up on the screen for those who are at home. So there's the words, and let me just pull up the music. Whoops. Please be seated, and I apologize. I forgot to mention the page number for those of you who are here, so I apologize for that. So this will conclude our regular Sunday morning service. Thank you all for attending today. Just a couple announcements. Next week, we actually have, it's called a an Eshiniko Memorial Service and Fujinkai Memorial Service. Eshiniko was the wife of Shinran Shonin. And so once a year, our women's auxiliary, the Fujinkai, observe memorial service in honor of Shiniko. And now I believe we also include Kakushini, who is the daughter of Shinran, as well as is a memorial for the Fujinkai women's auxiliary members who passed away during this past year. So that's next week at 10:30, and it will be joint English and Japanese service. That's the 19th. The following week, on the 25th, which is the Saturday, we'll be having our fundraising Chow-mein sale. And that will be we'll be making chow-mein from the morning, but the sales pickup, it will be a takeout only, and the pickup will be between 1 to 4. You could come and pick up your chow-mein if you want. We will be starting on the 24th, which is the Friday, chopping vegetables from 9 a.m. So if anybody wishes to come and help, volunteer, you're more than welcome to do so. We need help both on Friday and Saturday. This fundraising chow-mein, drive-through chow-mein pickup is replacing our fall bazaar that we had traditionally been having before. Partially because of the pandemic, that I think people feel more comfortable just driving through, picking up and going home, even though we don't have the pandemic anymore, and partially because manpower-wise, it's more difficult for us to do a full bazaar as we had done in the past. Then the following week is actually going to be our Dharma School is having our fall outing. So I will not be here, but Roy Sensei on the 26th will conduct a Sunday service, and there will only be an English service, and there won't be a Zoom link to it on the 26th. So it'll be just here. So if you want to really attend the service, you have to come out on the 26th in person. And if you're able to, please do come on out and show Roy Sensei your support. So those are some upcoming events. And then in December, on December 10th, we'll be having our Boninkai, our year-end party. So if you haven't registered and wish to register, there's information on our newsletter on the website. So please look at that and call the office to register your name for our year-end party. Okay, so thank you very much, and this will conclude this morning's service. And thank you to all those who joined by Zoom as well.
Thank you, Sensei.
Thank you.
That's it.